Tanzania just went to the polls, but instead of celebration, there's a curfew in the capital, protesters in the streets, and a blackout on social media. For decades, Tanzania was East Africa's quiet success story. No coups, no collapses, no chaos. Today, that calm seems to be cracking. We're unpacking what's behind this election, who President Samia Suluhu Hassan really is, and how her rule mirrors a wider trend of discontent with the status quo across Africa, places like Cameroon, Madagascar, Cote d'Ivoire, you name it. So let's talk about what's happening in Tanzania. Hi, I'm Zenge and this is Africa for Dummies. To understand this moment, you need to know Samia Suluhu Hassan. She became Tanzania's first female president in 2021 after the sudden death of John Pombe Magufuli. Before that, Samia was a consensus builder, a calm, pragmatic voice from Zanzibar. Her predecessor Magufuli was the opposite, nicknamed the bulldozer for his tough, no-nonsense leadership. He built roads, pushed infrastructure, renegotiated mining deals, but also banned opposition rallies, silenced the press, and gave the state sweeping powers over citizens' rights. When Magufuli died, Samia promised to heal the nation. At first, the world applauded, newspapers reopened, opposition leaders were freed. It felt like Tanzania was turning a page. But soon, the story seems to be changing. Reforms started slowing down. Power re-centralized within the ruling party, the Chama cha Mapinduzi, CCM. Media and civil servants were once again monitored, and critics say Samia redefined stability as obedience. Her allies call it pragmatism, her critics soft authoritarianism. Let's trace the timeline. In 2021, Samia takes office. 2022, dialogue within the opposition begins. 2023, a new electoral law gives more power to the presidency. In 2024, rallies restricted again, journalists detained. 2025, opposition leader Tundu Lissu faces treason. Tundu Lissu, remember him, was Magufuli's main challenger in 2020. He survived an assassination attempt. He returned from exile and led the Chadema party, opposition party. In that 2020 election, CCM's Magufuli claimed 84.4% of the vote, while Lissu got just 13%. In 2015, CCM won about 58%. So in just 5 years, the ruling party's share jumped from the 50s to the mid-80s, a warning sign about shrinking democratic space. Keep in mind, the CCM has always been in power since independence in 1961, albeit under a different name. Let's look at the scale. Tanzania's population, around 68 million, registered voters, over 30 million. That means nearly half the country is eligible to vote, but very few believe the results truly matter. Then the moment came that the silence broke. On October 7, an Air Force captain, John Charles Tesha, released a viral video accusing the president of corruption and deep state control. He urged Gen Z to take action. Within hours, he was arrested, but his words had already spread. For many Tanzanians, Tesha said what civilians probably could not, that the system no longer listens. Now let's zoom out. This isn't just a Tanzanian story. It's also continental. In Cameroon, a man over 90 years old has just won his 8th term and has been ruling for over 40 years amid several protests and banning main opposition players. In Madagascar, a 2025 coup ousted Andry Rajoelina after several Gen Z protests over water, electricity, and shrinking democratic space. We actually did a podcast on that one. Rajoelina has now been stripped of his citizenship. And in Cote d'Ivoire, Alassane Ouattara's 3rd term reshaped the rules entirely, and he just successfully won his 4th term. A man now in his 80s and has seen several protests during this election. Across Africa, the pattern repeats. Hold elections, ban rivals, and then call it peace. It's democracy with the batteries rewired. You're probably wondering what's going to happen to this Tanzania that has been so praised for calm, peace, and stability. The Institute for Security Studies, ISS, outlines 4 possible futures in a policy brief written by Tanzanian researcher Nicodemus Minde. So scenario number 1, managed stability, CCM retains control and dissent is muted. Scenario number 2, suppressed contestation, calm surface but deep resentment. Scenario number 3, Zanzibar flashpoint, unrest reignites in the islands, which has seen previous episodes of violence in other elections. External pressure. There might be token reforms under an international pressure or international glare, and then different paths result, but the same destination. CCM retains control. But here's the bottom line. Tanzania's election happened, but the choice seems to be contested as it's being counted. The government has imposed curfews and cut the internet as we await what seems like a walkover for Samia Suluhu Hassan. And now, Dar es Salaam sits quiet, but it's silence of fear, not peace. So, one final question. Is stability worth democracy's slow death? Because once people lose faith in elections that matter, the silence that follows isn't peace. It's democracy dying quietly. I'm Zenge, and this is Africa for Dummies. Until next time, stay curious and stay critical.